What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to East versus West. We're continuing our summer-long content takeover here on the Boo Bros channel. And if you guys are new to the Boo Bros channel, well, consider checking us out more, because there's not just me and Eddie on this channel. There's many of us on this channel, from East Coast all the way to the West Coast. We're covering it all, coast to coast. So check us out. There's going to be a lot of great content coming out this summer and this haunt season. But yeah, we are here for another episode of East versus West. And Eddie, what are we doing today?
Today, we're going through the most recent Halloween Horror Nights announcement, and we're going to give you a raw reaction to the actual announcement trailer.
Yes, this is something brand new that we're doing for the first time ever on East versus West, where we're going to react to the trailer with you guys live on screen, and then we're going to give our thoughts immediately following said trailer. But I'm super excited to be doing this. This is going to be a lot of fun. This is the brand new maze that just got announced this week as of this recording. Universal Monsters Legends Collide, the coast-to-coast shared IP original, whatever you want to call the Universal Monsters properties. Going to be at both Orlando and Hollywood. Of course, music by Slash at Hollywood and Orlando. They're probably going to have separate kind of takes on how they do things. So it's going to be fun to coast compare this in the future. But nonetheless, let's not waste any more time. Let's watch this trailer for Universal Monsters Legends Collide in 3, 2, 1.
And for my East Coast family, when he said maze, he meant house.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
you missed out.
So, fun fact about this, too, I guess we found out that this was filmed actually in Universal Orlando.
Yep.
Right next to the Mummy. Ironically, right?
Yep. Or perfectly.
Perfectly, right? Perfect irony.
It's like the little arcade area.
Yeah, they made it look like a movie theater, though, so it's so cool.
Universal Monsters Legends Collide. Only at Universal's Halloween Horror Nights.
Oh man, I'm so ready. Oh god, when I saw this announcement trailer, when I got word that this was finally confirmed, because we talked about this on East versus West on the last episode, where it got leaked a little bit on the Hollywood end, and
a lot of it.
Yeah, a lot of it. It went on the website, but now it is confirmed that we are both getting this property. So it kind of wasn't in a way a leak for you guys. It was actually kind of a shocker for you guys a little bit.
It was a little bit. So we knew we were going to get a Universal Monsters, but we thought ours was going to be different than yours.
Right.
And I think this is the first time that we're getting the same one.
Yes, because we had Universal Monsters in the very beginning in Hollywood in 2018. Then you guys got it in 2019, your guys' adaptation of it featuring the creature. And then we got Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman in 2019. And then fast forward to 2021, we got... actually, no, we shared The Bride of Frankenstein Lives. Obviously, you guys got it in the HHN Light event in 2020, but it came back in 2021 for both coasts. So...
Oh, so yours was the Bride of Frankenstein?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
But Murdy told it was the same story, of course, the bride capturing Dracula's brides to get the blood to infuse into Frankenstein. However, ours was told very differently than how you guys told your guys' story. So it was cool to see that. And then, the music by Slash has always been a thing in Hollywood, so we got that as well. But... it was a great time, and luckily for me, I got to go through both last year, so it was a very fun time to see the differences and the key moments and everything. I have to say though, Orlando takes the win for that big opening scene of her lifting the boulder from Frankenstein's monster. That is by far one of the greatest things I've ever seen at a haunt, right there.
Yeah, no, that house was amazing, and I'm I'm always on the side of the classic monster houses are amazing.
Yeah.
I'm ready for them, but can I give a little bit of an unpopular opinion?
Go ahead.
I wasn't a fan of this announcement.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't think it did too much. I mean, trust me, I'm excited for classic monsters to come to the event. I love classic monsters, and I'm actually really excited that Dracula is going to be like in the front.
Yeah.
So like there's 3 people and Dracula is one of the top 3. So I'm excited about that. But I didn't think the announcement did much.
Well, considering the fact that I think to date, the Bride of Frankenstein Lives trailer is probably the best Universal Monsters trailer to ever surface the internet. Would you agree?
Yeah, but there's not that many Universal Monsters trailers.
Well, for Hollywood, there is. Hollywood, every year we've had one. We had one for the first year.
Okay.
We had one for Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman. And I have to say The Bride of Frankenstein Lives is hands down the best one to ever be produced thus far. Because it was just so cinematic, and it was so like it was almost like it was a trailer, a teaser trailer for what you were going to see in this spiritual sequel to The Bride of Frankenstein. And just to see that kind of tension build up as that trailer goes, where she's freaking out in the lab, Frankenstein's monster's on the table, she's getting everything ready to go, and she's about to get started. Then she notices something that's behind her, and she turns around and grabs the vampire and starts injecting. Like, when I saw that, I think we all talked about this in the Boo Bros chat, but when I saw that, I was mind blown, and everyone else said that was a chef's kiss trailer, hands down.
It was, no, for sure.
Yeah.
When it comes to classic monsters, then, well, on our side, absolutely, it's the best. We don't have that many,
right?
And you'd be better to say on your end whether or not it's the best. But a fellow Boo Bro, Zombie Chris, recently said that it was the best teaser trailer ever released by Halloween Horror Nights, and I would have to
kind of have to agree with that.
I would have to contest that.
I would have to agree with that, dude. I don't think I've seen, unless you're talking about the Stranger Things ones.
Yeah, absolutely. Stranger Things is better.
That first one was good.
Yeah, the first one
in front of our arches.
Yeah, the upside down and the bike in the front. I think absolutely that has to be.
That was good. I for me now that you brought that one up, it's a little on par. Like they're it's a tie for first, because those two, like, one is an original and then the other is an IP. So I mean, it's kind of hard to compare and contrast them, especially if they're two, But like, fucking beautiful.
This is definitely like top 5, probably even easily top 3.
Right.
But I would have to say that Stranger Things is probably the best teaser trailer we've ever gotten.
Right. You know what? For me, as far as this trailer goes, for Universal Monsters Legends Collide, it came as no shocker when this was announced, only because we got it leaked the week prior.
Didn't you guys have it up on the website for like a week?
I don't know how long it was up for the website for. A lot of people made a big deal about when they saw it, and it felt like it was only like a day for me when I found out about it, and then by the time I checked, it was gone. But it came with the whole synopsis and everything. So, like, for me, this kind of felt like, well, this already got leaked, so we kind of have to, release this one first. You know what I mean? This was what this trailer. I mean, and no disrespect or anything. Like, I still enjoyed it. It got me psyched for it. I'm ready to go through another journey with the Universal Monsters. They're some of my favorites, and anyone who loves horror loves the Universal Monsters. So, it came as no surprise that this trailer came out, and it also kind of felt like this was just pushed out there because it got leaked. They're like, we kind of have to now. So, but it still got me very hyped for it, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing this original story they came up with for these three.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong. Once again, I'm a huge fan of the classic monsters. I'm excited for them to come back to the event, but I think just like you probably agree. We knew it so far in advance. It was kind of like it was told that it was coming,
right?
So it didn't really surprise me. The trailer, I think, was well shot but simple, and typically the first announcement kind of sets the tone for what's coming. I think with this announcement, we kind of all knew that Classic Monsters was coming back in some format, so it doesn't really set the tone.
Yeah,
we knew, like a big IP, like if they would have announced Stranger Things, although Stranger Things probably won't be my favorite house, it probably would have set the tone really well. Like, this year is going to be a big IP year.
Right.
But, regardless, the first Classic Monsters house that they had at Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando was my favorite that year. And then last year's was amazing as well. So I can only imagine. I mean, this is probably going to be spectacular, mostly with Dracula kind of having a forefront in the trio. So, don't get me wrong, I love it, and a lot of people love it because it was filmed in the park, and that's a huge thing. It's cool, and I agree. that's super cool to be able to see the actual park being used in the trailer.
Yeah. So a little bit of backstory before we start diving into what we want to see in this maze and what we're looking forward to with this maze. This is an original story that the creative team on both parks came up with together. This is something that they're going to be telling the same story, but in a much different approach for each park. Everyone on the West Coast who knows Murdy likes to really tell a story, and everyone knows that the Orlando people really love to tell a story with a lot of scenic views and different things that you don't get to see on the other coast, which in both coasts, because I've got to experience both of them. There's really you can't really compare the two, because one coast does something different than the other, and they both tell a story differently, different approaches. So it's really hard to compare and contrast now that I've been to both events. However, the story for this maze overall is something that involves something they made up for the story called the Amulet of Ra. And the story is that the three monsters are actually trying to look for this amulet. Each one of them has their own personal desires they want to use it for. The Wolfman feels that it can cure his curse once and for all, and he'd go back to just being a regular man again. However, Dracula and the Mummy have different intentions for the amulet. They want to use it to destroy mankind once and for all. So ultimately, it's going to be a race between the three as to who is going to get it first. Now, immediately reading this synopsis and thinking about it made me think about, and I talked about this on my last video on Nights of Horror, Universal Icons Captured. And the reason why I thought about that was because what if they do the similar approach of the ending where a different Universal monster has the amulet by the end of the maze?
Okay. I mean, that sounds cool, but what I've understood from some people's perception is that they're actually all working together. Although they have different intentions for the stone, they're all working together. And I think Scott from SoCal Exploring actually was the one who mentioned that.
I feel like with okay, so if they are working together, that's cool.
Sorry, Exploring Attractions.
No,
Scott
SoCal Exploring Attractions. That's what it's called.
My bad.
Exploring SoCal Attractions. Come on. Yeah. But I feel like with the egos you have involved with this maze, now you're looking at Dracula. Dracula only cares about one thing and one thing only, himself.
And blood.
It's always been like that. Same thing with the Mummy. Mummy cares about one thing and one thing only, and that's itself. Mm-hmm. So, and then you look at the Wolfman. The Wolfman will do anything he can to just be normal again. And I mean anything. And we've seen the original. We've seen reboots. We've seen many werewolf stories. Never ends well. So, being that they're going to work together, I don't think this team will be stable enough to manage throughout the entire storyline. I think by the end of the maze, we're going to see some conflict interfere between them. Now, as a guest, you're going through and you're witnessing these titans of I wouldn't say terror, but of cinema.
Universal cinema.
Universal cinema at that. Yeah, I'll go as far as say cinema, because they're part of history. They're some of the first iconic horror films to ever be made. But I would say they're gonna go. You're gonna be in the middle of these guys going through it. From our facade, it looks like a warehouse of some sort, and they're looking probably through. It could be a government facility for all we know, or something. Because then in my mind starts thinking Indiana Jones. The Lost Ark was in a government facility. You know what I mean? So what if this amulet is either a shipment from overseas, or it's a government facility? There's just so many theories that I started thinking about when this maze got announced.
Yeah, no. If it's housed anywhere, it's going to be accidentally housed in some Universal backlot, and coincidentally, they're fighting for it, and it's in a secure soundstage or something. Right. But no, I'm excited for this one. I am really excited for it. I just didn't think that they did anything exceptional with the announcement. I mean, think about it. Go back, right? The first announcement when it was Stranger Things, like Stranger Things set the tone for for announcement trailers. That's got to be like the first time they ever did it that big and the best announcement trailer.
Yeah.
You know, coming back from the pandemic and having our first event that is, I guess, now not overshadowed by what happened the prior year, I thought it was going to be a better trailer for the first announcement. But regardless, I'm super excited for this house to come.
I really have a feeling that the maze ending that I was telling you right now, I feel like that's how it's going to end, because not all of them can have that amulet. You know what I mean? One of them, like I said, there's going to be conflict where they're going to start arguing as to who wants it more, who's going to get it. And that's what's going to end up being the final battle between the three titans, because they're all going to fight over this amulet. Not one can have it. Only one can have it. You know what I mean? Not all of them can have it. So I think at the end of, I think they're going to do an icons approach where at the end of the maze you see a different victor every so often.
Okay,
that's the only way I could see this maze ending. Really.
I get you. I definitely don't see all of them having a kumbaya moment at the end and everybody getting what they want, you know.
little campfire.
Yeah. So I think you're onto something. You're onto something.
Only time will tell, though, right? I don't know how it's going to be on your coast. You could probably predict more because you've been to the event more and how they do approach things there. The only time we've ever had, I think, that kind of result in a maze was for Alien versus Predator and Freddy versus Jason, where it was a different victor at the, you know, every so often you'd walk through, it'd be a different victor. So those are the only two that I can think of at the top of my head right now. But this would be a good one to do it with.
No, I think I could see that being the case. And when you say only time will tell, it's crazy to think we're only like 4 months out.
Actually, I'm going to go as far as to say 3.5 almost.
We're in May, June, July, August, September. Yeah, so 3 and a couple days for sure.
3 and some change.
Yeah, 3 and some change.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it.
We are so close.
And we finally got our announcement dates. It's going to be again September through October. October 31st is going to be the last date for both. So I think we're starting a week after you guys is what I've did the math right.
Yeah, and I think that's typical, right? You guys.
Yeah, usually you guys open because you guys are like a much more bigger budget, you know, kind of bigger park than us. And I think, you know, with events and whatnot. So, yeah, we usually open. You guys are a little bit bigger than us, so you guys get more, you know, and a little bit more popular, I would say too. There's a lot of traction coming from out of states, the locals, you know, people who live in Orlando, or in Florida, you know, come out to come see these events because that's really the premier haunt event in Florida. So
yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, it's crazy to think how close we are. Dude, I can't wait for it to come around.
Oh, man, we're looking forward to it.
And maybe this year, if the speculation map turns out to be correct in the West Coast, maybe we'll have some East Coast boo bros out there soon.
Time will tell, right? Time will tell.
La Llorona will technically solidify Losh TV. So
La Chona.
Yeah.
As Sammy always calls her. Oh, man. Yeah, so, I mean, I'm excited for this. I can't wait to see what this story is going to be. I can't wait to hear Slash's new score. Any idea where you guys are having yours? Because I know ours is going to be in the back of the Mummy queue, which is only appropriate.
So, I think they showed a potential location for it, and I think it was speculated to potentially be in one of the sound stages, which I think is fitting. I mean,
yeah.
A house like that needs nice special effects.
Well, hasn't really all of them? They've all kind of been in sound stages, though, right? All the Universal monsters over there.
They've been
because Bride was
in the parade buildings.
Oh, is that those parade buildings?
Yeah, the parade buildings in the back.
Okay.
Which are similar.
Well, Bride wasn't Bride. Bride was that a parade building or was that a soundstage?
Oh no, Brides was a soundstage.
So the front part is the soundstage, the back parts are the parade ones.
Correct.
Cool.
And I think actually now you're making me question myself. Maybe they've all been in sound stages, but I thought the first one was in a parade building, but I could be wrong.
I know that Brides was in the soundstage next to the big stage right there.
Yeah.
So that was where Brides was. I don't. So
yeah,
are they
soundstage?
Yeah. So is that where they're predicting that Legends Collide is going to be?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, a soundstage as well.
Alrighty. Well, yeah, that's why I said construction is really hard for you guys to cover out there because you guys can't. They keep everything super secretive over there.
But you can see what's going on in the Fast and the Furious queue.
Oh, there you go. So you guys got
Yeah.
some construction.
Yep. When I was there just recently, I could already see the like white tent that they're putting in the
Well,
Fast and
can't
the
you
Furious
kind of see from?
Men in Black?
Yeah, you can see Men in Black stuff too, huh?
Well, the actual Men in Black tent is not up.
Oh
But
yeah.
so the ones to the left, but the ones
Is,
to the right.
was that where House of a Thousand Corpses was?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. 2 years ago, right?
Because I remember
Or
you guys got
3
really
years ago
good
now.
pictures and photos of that one year when that went up.
Yeah, but right now that particular sprung tent is not up, but the other 2 sprung tents are up. But
Oh,
those are a little
man.
bit further back.
So, with all that being said, I mean, announcement season has just started. We only got one maze down here. We got 7 more to go on the West Coast and a terror tram to be announced and some scare zones, live entertainment. I mean, fuck you, Jabberwockies. Don't come back.
Okay. Your live entertainment has been announced.
Yeah,
But yeah,
there it
I mean,
is.
we got 9 more on the East Coast. So
Yeah.
there's still plenty. This is probably the latest that announcement season
Yeah.
has actually started.
I was talking with someone about that recently. Like, usually it starts around March, April. It's in May.
Even
And-
January. I think Stranger Things was like announced January, February.
February.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the earliest I think I've ever seen an Amaze announcement.
Yeah.
But then
And
remember, there was like a dry spur of nothingness, and then boom, another
Yeah.
announcement.
But it was probably the busiest year ever.
Yeah, because of that property.
Yep.
But yeah, we got a lot more to cover. There's going to be more East versus West all summer long. We're going to give you the first need to know coverage and details about all the upcoming properties and IPs and originals coming to Halloween Horror Nights on both coasts. So stay tuned for that. But on the weeks that we don't have announcements, we're still going to keep you entertained. We still want to keep you eddytained. And what that is, coast comparisons, because there's a lot of mazes that have we still have to cover, a lot of mazes that we didn't even get to cover yet in 2021. So let's we're gonna do a couple coast comparisons for you starting next week, unless there's an announcement. I just had a brain fart. The Bride of Frankenstein Lives. That's what we're kicking it off with.
Bye.
Bride of Frankenstein Lives, Universal Monsters, in honor of Universal Monsters Legends Collide getting announced. We're going to start with The Bride of Frankenstein Lives, react to last year's maze on both coasts, see what we liked, see what we didn't like, and ultimately give our final consensus. But until that moment, Eddie, what should they go do?
Way to put me on the spot. They should subscribe to the channel. Make sure to like this video if you've enjoyed it. Comment down below and let us know if there's anything in particular that you guys want to see on the East versus West podcast. We'll make sure to take your opinions into consideration. Subscribe to all the Boo Bros. We got a conglomerate of creators all the way from the East to West Coast on this channel. It's not just Anthony and myself. There's
Even
several other of us.
though it's going to seem like that in the next couple weeks.
I know. Yeah. It's not just Anthony and myself. There's several of us on here. We're going to be covering. And as we get closer to haunt season, the amount of content and the variety of content that you will get on this particular channel will be second to none. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Go ahead.
There you go. I was going to say also, I want to give a little shout out to our buddy Hollow Thrills. He's got a video. It hasn't come out yet, I think. Has it come out?
No, it hasn't come out yet.
Hasn't come out yet. We won't give too many details away, but he's got a fun video in store. As of this recording, it hasn't come out, but if it's already out, go check it out. But he's got a fun video in store for you guys, a first ever exclusive on the Boo Bros, and you guys are not going to want to miss it. Please go like the hell of it, share the hell out of it, and give a lot of warm welcome comments, because he worked very hard on this, and we're all super proud of what he made with this, and he had a fun time doing it. He can't wait for all you guys to see it. So stay tuned, because there's going to be some exciting stuff coming to Boo Bros. I'm excited. Eddie's excited. We're all excited. So we will see you guys next week for another episode of East versus West. Until then, you stay spooky, your only place to get your dose of both coasts.
Deuces. That's me.
That's me. The classic. You got to do it. I want to do pictures so bad, like for shirt designs of like, you know, those pictures where it's just like the only thing that shows is your hair and like your facial hair and stuff and whatnot, and your eye, like only the hair shows, and then like the face is like usually white or something. You know what I mean? Like I want to do pictures like that for all the Boo Bros. It's just a matter of finding someone who can do that.
Yeah, that'd be dope. I'm sure there's an app that does that for you.
There's got to be, right? Because like mine would be like the long hair and then the fucking beard. Yours would be the fucking hair combed up with a little bit of the beard. Lashes would be like no hair.
beard
and a beard. Chris would just be hair. Connor's would be the long hair. Scott would have a similar thing but no facial hair. Rob would have his long hair with his beard. Like it would look so fucking cool.
Hold up. I was hearing myself echo on your side. Hold on. Am I still hearing it? Hello.
No. Probably when I was talking to the mic. I was yelling to the mic, but okay. All right, we've been recording this entire time too. Fuck, that's gonna be some good like blooper reel right there.
No, just clip it off.
No, I'm not talking about in the beginning. I might put it at the very end.
Oh, okay.
At least for that shirt idea. That was funny. So,